غفران حجازي doesn't know what to tell her children about their father.
My eldest son sometimes opens up the computer, puts up his father's photo, and starts crying. Not a day goes by without my youngest son asking me, when is daddy coming home?
Hijazi's husband is Lieutenant Colonel Hussein al-Hurmoush, one of the first Syrian army officers to publicly reject his government's crackdown on pro-democracy demonstrators. He urged other Syrian troops to desert and join what he called the Free Syrian Army. Similar videos from other defectors started popping up, suggesting Hurmoush's call for rebellion was attracting recruits. Hurmoush claimed to lead these rebels from this makeshift government-run refugee camp in neighboring Turkey. He lived here with his wife and 4 children until the morning of August 29th. Hijazi tells me her husband left the camp that morning to go shopping and to meet with a mysterious man who camp refugees believed was a Turkish intelligence officer. Hijazi says Hurmoush disappeared that day and his cell phone then went dead.
From that moment, I was certain my husband was handed back to the Syrians.
2.5 weeks later, Hurmoush suddenly resurfaced on Syria's strictly controlled state television network. In this televised confession, Hurmoush renounced the Syrian opposition and confessed to knowing about a plot to smuggle weapons into Syria. He hasn't been seen or heard from since. The Turkish government hasn't been able to explain how Hussein Hurmoush disappeared from the gates of this camp here and reappeared days later in the hands of the Syrian government. Turkish government officials also say they do not know who the alleged Turkish security agent was, who camp residents knew as Abu Muhammad. In her first interview since her husband's disappearance, Hijazi accused Turkish authorities of handing Hurmoush over to the Syrians.
I believe they arrested him as part of an agreement between both countries.
The Turkish government denies these accusations. Ankara says all Syrian refugees are welcome on Turkish territory and points to the more than 7,500 Syrians that have taken shelter in camps here. But that's little consolation to Hijazi. With the apparent capture of her husband, she doesn't know whether to call herself Hurmoush's wife or his widow.
If there was one message that you could send to your husband, Hussein Hurmoush, what would it be?
If he's still alive, I urge him to be patient. But I don't think anyone can survive the torture and dungeons of the Syrian Secret Service. If he's dead, that means he's in paradise.
Ivan Watson, CNN on the Syrian-Turkish border.